Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's episode, we're diving into a powerful Stoic principle, flowing with life, the wisdom of non-force. We've all experienced that urge to control every outcome in our lives. Whether it's striving for a promotion at work, trying to maintain a perfect relationship, or even stressing over our daily schedules, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the need to push too hard and manipulate circumstances. However, the Stoics offer us a different perspective. They teach us that life flows more peacefully when we learn to let go and embrace what comes naturally. As the philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This quote encapsulates the essence of Stoicism. Our power lies not in controlling external events, but in how we choose to respond. When we force our will upon life, we often find ourselves battling against the current, leading to stress and frustration. Instead, embracing the wisdom of non-force allows us to navigate life with greater ease and acceptance. In this episode, we'll break down 10 essential lessons on how to cultivate a life of more ease, presence, and acceptance. It's all about less force and more flow. We'll explore a wide range of topics, from finding joy in the simplest things to practicing mindfulness and tapping into the incredible power of silence and solitude. These practical Stoic insights can help you release stress and live with greater clarity, confidence, and inner peace. Consider the everyday moments that often slip through our fingers because we're too focused on the future or fixated on outcomes. For example, think about how many times you've been caught up in your thoughts during a meal, distracted by your phone or worries about tomorrow. Instead, imagine savoring each bite, being fully present, and appreciating the flavors and textures. This simple act of mindfulness can ground you in the present, allowing you to experience life more richly. These Stoic lessons are not just theoretical. They provide practical tools for navigating the challenges of modern life. By implementing these ideas, you can shift your mindset and cultivate a greater sense of inner tranquility. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This wisdom is a reminder that while we cannot control external circumstances, we can control our perceptions and reactions. So, as we delve into these lessons, I encourage you to reflect on how you can apply them to your own life. Let's embrace the flow of life, finding peace in uncertainty and joy in simplicity. If these insights resonate with you, please share them with friends and family, as we aim to create a community centered around calmness, resilience, and wisdom. Let's get into it. Lesson 1. Embrace the now, the art of living in the present. Fully engaging with the present moment is a critical tenet in Stoic philosophy. In a world that perpetually urges us to fret about the future or linger on the past, it's all too easy to overlook the significance of the here and now. Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic thinker, profoundly stated, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." This powerful reminder serves to emphasize the fleeting nature of time and the reality that the only moment we genuinely have is the one unfolding right now. Many of us find ourselves ensnared in a relentless cycle of anxiety, perpetually focused on what lies ahead, what's next on our to-do lists, the ambitions we seek to achieve, or the mistakes we've made in the past. This habitual distraction prevents us from experiencing the richness of the present moment, as our minds are often preoccupied with regrets or worries about the future. Living fully in the present is not merely a practice of mindfulness. It involves embracing life as it unfolds, appreciating small moments, and relinquishing the incessant need to plan, control, or fix everything. Consider the last time you experienced a moment of genuine presence. Perhaps it was during a tranquil morning spent savoring your coffee, the steam rising gently into the air, or while enjoying a peaceful stroll in nature, surrounded by the rustling leaves and the cheerful chirping of birds. In those instances, when your mind is completely attuned to the here and now, you encounter a profound sense of calm and contentment that eludes us when we're preoccupied with worrying about future outcomes or ruminating on past mistakes. Stoicism teaches us that this peace is always accessible if we consciously strive to focus on the present. Living fully in the present means learning to appreciate the little joys of everyday life. For instance, imagine sitting by a window, feeling the gentle warmth of the sun on your face, or hearing the laughter of loved ones echoing in the background. These moments may seem trivial, yet they are where true happiness resides. When we focus on the present, we can significantly alleviate stress and anxiety because we are no longer preoccupied with factors outside our control. The Stoics believed that much of our suffering stems from wishing things were different than they are or fearing what might happen in the future. By anchoring ourselves in the present, we liberate ourselves from this unnecessary mental burden. To illustrate this, think about a simple yet common act: eating a meal. How often do you find yourself consuming food while distracted? Perhaps watching television, scrolling through your phone, or mentally preparing for the tasks ahead. Now visualize this. You sit down to enjoy a meal and fully savor each bite, paying attention to the flavors, textures, and the nourishment the food provides. This practice of immersing yourself in the experience, however mundane it may seem, is the essence of living in the present. Over time, this mindfulness cultivates a sense of gratitude for the little things, enhancing overall well-being and contentment. Another effective method to cultivate presence is through practicing mindfulness, a concept highly valued in Stoic teachings. Mindfulness doesn't have to be complicated. It simply means being aware of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings in the current moment without judgment. It's about releasing distractions and concentrating on what is happening right now. Whether you're walking, engaging in conversation, or working on a project, mindfulness allows you to connect more deeply with the task at hand, enhancing both your experience and effectiveness. However, it's crucial to recognize that living fully in the present isn't always straightforward. Life is filled with distractions, and our minds naturally wander to the past and future. The Stoics recognized this challenge and advocated for regular practices and reflections to cultivate the habit of presence. Epictetus suggested a practical approach. Regularly ask yourself, what am I doing right now? And how does it contribute to my overall well-being? This simple yet profound question can help pull us out of the autopilot mode we often find ourselves in and remind us to refocus on the present. To incorporate this practice into your daily life, start by setting aside dedicated time each day for mindfulness. This could be as simple as spending a few minutes in the morning or evening in quiet reflection. Find a comfortable spot, breathe deeply, and concentrate on the present moment. Let go of thoughts about future responsibilities or past events. By doing this consistently, you'll likely notice a significant shift in how you experience daily life. Less stress, more joy, and a deeper connection to yourself and the world around you. Embracing the present also involves acknowledging that the present moment is all we truly possess. The past has slipped away, and the future remains uncertain. This doesn't mean we should abandon plans or reflections. Rather, we should avoid allowing those thoughts to consume us to the extent that we miss out on the life unfolding right before us. When you choose to embrace the present, you'll discover that time feels richer, relationships deepen, and your overall sense of peace expands. For example, consider how often we rush through conversations with friends or family, distracted by our phones or our thoughts, instead of engaging fully. By practicing presence, we can enrich our interactions, deepen our connections, and truly appreciate the people in our lives. In conclusion, living fully in the present is one of the most vital lessons from Stoicism. It encourages us to release unnecessary worries, embrace the moment, and find joy in life's simple aspects. By practicing mindfulness, appreciating the small joys, and focusing on what we can control in the here and now, we can lead more meaningful and peaceful lives. As Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, "While you live, while it is in your power, be good." Let's internalize this wisdom and start living with intention, fully present in every moment. By doing so, we open ourselves to a life filled with richness and depth that transforms our everyday experiences into extraordinary moments. Lesson 2: The beauty of change, accepting life's impermanence. One of the most profound insights that Stoic philosophy offers is the understanding and acceptance of impermanence. Everything in our lives, from the material possessions we hold dear to the relationships we nurture, and even our very existence, is temporary. The Stoics argue that fully embracing this reality is essential for living a fulfilling and confident life. Marcus Aurelius articulated this beautifully in his Meditations when he stated, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This striking reminder is not meant to instill fear. Rather, it encourages us to live with intention and mindfulness, fully aware that nothing in life is guaranteed. At first, grappling with the concept of impermanence can feel unsettling. Many individuals are conditioned to believe that their circumstances will remain stable or that they have an abundance of time to pursue their goals and ambitions. However, the Stoics teach us that everything exists in a state of constant change. Our emotions shift, relationships evolve, and even our physical bodies undergo transformation over time. By accepting this fluidity, we learn to relinquish our grip on things that are beyond our control, allowing us to appreciate life in its fleeting moments. In our contemporary world, it is all too easy to become entangled in the pursuit of stability, whether that be financial security, emotional assurance, or relational constancy. We often desire permanence because it provides a sense of safety and predictability. Yet, the more we attempt to control and cling to these aspects of life, the more anxiety and stress we create for ourselves. Stoicism teaches us that instead of resisting change, we should actively embrace it. This understanding of life's impermanence equips us to navigate the inevitable ups and downs with greater resilience and tranquility. Let's delve deeper into how the concept of impermanence can be particularly enlightening in the context of our relationships. Many people experience intense fear regarding the loss of loved ones, whether through breakups, death, or the gradual drifting apart that can occur over time. The pain associated with loss can be overwhelming because we often take the stability of our relationships for granted, assuming they will last indefinitely. The Stoics remind us that, like everything else in life, all relationships are impermanent. By acknowledging and accepting this reality, we can cherish the time we have with the people we care about and alleviate the fear of losing them. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, offered poignant advice when he stated, "When you kiss your child goodnight, say to yourself, they may be dead in the morning. Do not tempt fate by putting off what you need to do now." Although this statement may initially seem harsh, it serves as a powerful reminder to appreciate the present and to value our relationships while they last. Accepting impermanence does not lead to detachment or indifference. Rather, it allows us to engage more deeply with those we love, understanding that our time together is finite. This perspective fosters a greater capacity for kindness, patience, and appreciation because we are no longer taking our relationships for granted. To illustrate this point, think about a close friendship that has changed over the years. Perhaps you've grown apart due to different life paths or priorities. By recognizing the impermanence of that relationship, you can choose to cherish the memories you've shared rather than lamenting what has been lost. This mindset allows you to approach your interactions with a renewed sense of gratitude, appreciating the time spent together without the burden of expectation for the future. The principle of impermanence extends beyond personal connections. It encompasses our careers, material possessions, and even our health. Everything is subject to change, and by embracing this truth, we liberate ourselves from the suffering that arises from trying to hold on to what cannot be held. For instance, consider the stress that many individuals experience regarding aging. Society often glorifies youth and beauty, leading many to fear the natural process of growing older. However, the Stoics embraced aging as an integral part of life's journey. Seneca wisely noted, "We are born to die. It is our duty to be prepared for that and live as if each day is our last." Instead of fearing the passage of time, Stoicism teaches us to accept it gracefully, recognizing that every stage of life brings its own unique wisdom and value. A practical example of this can be seen in how we view our careers. Many people strive for job security and fear changes in their professional lives, whether it be layoffs or shifts in industry demand. By understanding that career paths can be transient, we can cultivate resilience and adaptability. For instance, if you find yourself laid off, instead of succumbing to despair, you can view this change as an opportunity to explore new roles or even pursue a long-held passion. This adaptability is a hallmark of Stoic thought, allowing us to navigate life's uncertainties with a sense of purpose and clarity. Understanding the impermanence of life enables us to shift our focus toward what truly matters. When we recognize that our time is limited, we become more intentional about how we spend it. Instead of engaging in trivial pursuits or getting caught up in unnecessary drama, we prioritize activities that bring us genuine joy and fulfillment, whether that means spending quality time with family, pursuing a passion, or contributing to a cause that resonates with us. The Stoics encourage us to live each day as if it could be our last, not in a morbid sense, but as a reminder to embrace life with purpose and presence. Imagine a scenario where you feel overwhelmed at work, constantly worrying about deadlines and whether you're meeting expectations. The fear of failure or disappointing others can be paralyzing. However, by applying the Stoic understanding of impermanence, you can remind yourself that this moment of stress is temporary. In the grand scheme of life, it may not hold as much significance as it feels in the moment. This perspective allows you to detach from anxiety, enabling you to focus on doing your best without being consumed by worry. Moreover, the acceptance of impermanence invites us to cultivate gratitude. Recognizing that everything is transient encourages us to appreciate what we have while we have it. For example, take a moment to reflect on the simple joys in your life. Perhaps it's the warmth of the sun on your skin, the joyful laughter of a friend, or the comfort of a favorite meal. These moments, while fleeting, present opportunities for gratitude that enrich our lives. The Stoics remind us that true contentment comes from within, rather than from external possessions or accolades. By practicing gratitude, we can shift our perspective and center ourselves on the positive aspects of our lives. In conclusion, understanding the impermanence of life is a fundamental lesson from Stoicism that empowers us to live with greater peace and confidence. When we accept that everything is temporary, our relationships, our possessions, and even our own lives, we stop clinging to what we cannot control and begin to appreciate life's fleeting moments. By embracing change and impermanence, we can live more fully, experiencing less fear and more gratitude. As Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Let this insight inspire us to live intentionally, fully aware of the preciousness of each moment, and to cherish the beauty that comes with the acceptance of change. Lesson 3. Finding freedom in acceptance, letting go of control. Acceptance is a fundamental teaching of Stoic philosophy and plays a crucial role in cultivating inner peace and self-assurance. At its core, acceptance involves recognizing that there are aspects of life we simply cannot control. Rather than resisting these realities, we should learn to embrace them. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, famously advised, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." This straightforward yet profound idea has the potential to transform our approach to life, helping us alleviate stress, anxiety, and frustration. In our daily lives, we often expend tremendous energy trying to change or control everything around us, whether it involves the actions of others, external events, or even something as unpredictable as the weather. The Stoics believed that this struggle to control the uncontrollable is a primary source of human suffering. When we resist what is, we create tension and inner turmoil. Conversely, when we practice acceptance, we find peace by aligning ourselves with reality as it is rather than as we wish it to be. To illustrate the power of acceptance, let's consider a common scenario: getting stuck in traffic. Many people experience overwhelming frustration or anger in such situations, often honking their horns, yelling at other drivers, or sitting in their cars fuming. Yet no matter how upset we become, the traffic remains unchanged and completely outside our control. If we approach this scenario with a Stoic mindset, we recognize that traffic is beyond our influence and can choose to accept it. Instead of letting frustration ruin our mood, we could use the time to listen to a podcast, practice deep breathing, or simply observe our surroundings calmly. This shift in mindset transforms what could be a stressful experience into an opportunity for peace and reflection. Marcus Aurelius succinctly captured this concept in his Meditations when he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This quote encapsulates the essence of Stoic acceptance. While we may not control external circumstances, we always maintain control over our internal reactions. By accepting what we cannot change, we conserve our mental energy and redirect our focus toward what we can influence: our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. This shift is where true resilience and empowerment lie. It's important to clarify that acceptance does not equate to resignation or giving up. Many people mistakenly believe that accepting a situation means they are okay with it or that they don't care about the outcome. Stoic acceptance involves recognizing reality without allowing it to defeat us. It's about acknowledging, this is the way things are right now. What can I do within my control to respond to this situation in a constructive manner? By doing so, we empower ourselves to take meaningful action where possible rather than squandering energy on resistance or frustration. For example, imagine you've poured your heart into a project at work, but it doesn't receive the recognition you hoped for. Your initial reaction might be disappointment or frustration, especially if you feel that your efforts went unnoticed. However, through the lens of Stoic acceptance, you recognize that the response from others is beyond your control. What is within your control is the quality of your work and the pride you take in your effort. By accepting this situation, you can release the need for external validation and find peace in the knowledge that you did your best. This mindset not only builds resilience but also fosters a deeper sense of confidence because you are no longer reliant on external outcomes for your self-worth. Seneca, another influential Stoic thinker, taught about the power of acceptance, particularly when it comes to dealing with difficult people or challenging situations. He advised that we shouldn't expect life to be free from obstacles, but rather prepare ourselves to handle them with grace and composure. He famously wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." This wisdom encourages us to view challenges as a natural part of life, seeing them as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles to our happiness. Let's apply this idea to personal relationships. Often, we find ourselves frustrated with others when they don't behave as we wish. Perhaps a friend cancels plans at the last moment, or a colleague proves difficult to work with. Our instinct might be to try to change their behavior or harbor resentment. In line with Stoic teachings, however, we can practice acceptance by acknowledging that we cannot control how others behave, we can only control our responses. Instead of getting upset, we can choose to accept the situation and respond with patience or understanding. This does not mean we condone poor behavior. Rather, it allows us to maintain our inner peace regardless of external circumstances. Another area where acceptance can be transformative is in dealing with failure or setbacks. Life does not always go according to plan, and many people struggle with accepting failure because they view it as a reflection of their worth. The Stoics encourage us to see failure as a natural part of the learning process. Epictetus urged his students to view every experience, whether good or bad, as an opportunity for learning and growth. Instead of resisting failure or allowing it to define us, Stoicism teaches us to accept it as part of the journey, analyze what went wrong, and move forward with newfound wisdom. This acceptance of failure builds resilience and confidence as it reframes mistakes as stepping stones to success rather than insurmountable barriers. Acceptance also involves letting go of the past. Many individuals carry the weight of past mistakes, regrets, or losses which can hinder their ability to live fully in the present. The Stoics remind us that the past is beyond our control. We cannot change what has already happened. Marcus Aurelius advised, "The past is a mere fragment of time no longer with us. The present is a mere instant racing by. The future is uncharted, uncertain, and unknown." By accepting that the past is unchangeable, we free ourselves from its grip and focus on what we can do in the present to shape our future. In conclusion, the power of acceptance is a central lesson in Stoicism that leads to greater peace, resilience, and confidence. By accepting what we cannot control, whether it be external events, the actions of others, or the unpredictability of life, we conserve our energy for the aspects we can influence. Stoic acceptance is not about passivity, it is about embracing reality as it is and taking thoughtful, purposeful action within our sphere of control. When we practice acceptance, we liberate ourselves from unnecessary suffering and cultivate the inner strength needed to navigate life's challenges with grace. Let us remember that by embracing acceptance, we can transform our lives and foster a profound sense of peace and fulfillment. Lesson 4. Releasing the past, the power of letting go. Letting go is one of the most liberating practices we can adopt in life, and it serves as a key principle in Stoic philosophy. Whether it involves releasing past mistakes, failed relationships, unmet expectations, or things we simply cannot control, learning to let go is essential for maintaining inner peace and emotional resilience. The Stoics firmly believed that much of our suffering arises from clinging to things that are beyond our control. By learning to release these attachments, we can free ourselves from unnecessary pain and suffering. Epictetus, a notable Stoic philosopher, famously taught, "It is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them." This quote encapsulates a fundamental Stoic belief: our suffering is often self-inflicted, stemming not from the events themselves but from our attachment to how we think things should be. When we cling to unrealistic expectations, desires, or outcomes, we set ourselves up for disappointment and frustration. Learning to let go means accepting reality as it is rather than trying to force it to conform to our wishes. To better understand the power of letting go, let's explore some practical examples. Consider a situation where you are holding on to anger from a past argument. This anger does not change the outcome of the argument, it only causes you more distress. By choosing to let go of that anger, you allow yourself to move forward without carrying the emotional burden of the past. Marcus Aurelius expressed this sentiment beautifully when he wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This focus on appreciating the present moment can help us release past grievances and future worries that weigh us down. Letting go is particularly powerful when it comes to dealing with past mistakes or regrets. Many people find themselves stuck in a cycle of replaying moments where they feel they could have made better choices or acted differently. While reflecting on past actions can be useful for learning and growth, dwelling on them prevents us from moving forward. Seneca taught that every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. To embrace new opportunities and growth, we must let go of what is no longer serving us. By clinging to the past, we limit our ability to embrace the present and the future. The end of a relationship is a common scenario that illustrates the difficulty of letting go. Whether it's a romantic relationship, a friendship, or a professional partnership, the loss can be deeply painful. Many people struggle with letting go because they focus on what went wrong, what could have been, or what they might have done differently. This attachment to the past can lead to prolonged suffering and prevent healing. The Stoics remind us that all relationships, like everything else in life, are impermanent. Epictetus advised that we should view everything in life, including our relationships, as temporary gifts. Instead of clinging to what was, we can honor the relationship for its contributions to our lives and let go of the need to hold on to something that has naturally come to an end. For example, if a friendship fades, instead of mourning the loss, reflect on the moments that brought you joy and the lessons learned during that time. This shift in perspective allows for a richer appreciation of your experiences without being burdened by regret. The principle of letting go extends beyond relationships to all aspects of life, including material possessions, status, and even our own identities. Many individuals define themselves by their achievements, jobs, or social standing, holding on to these identities tightly because they provide a sense of security. However, Stoicism encourages us to recognize that these external markers of identity are fleeting and can change at any moment. Consider a scenario where someone loses their job. The initial reaction might involve fear, anger, or shame as they grapple with the loss of their professional identity. However, by practicing acceptance and letting go, they can view this situation as an opportunity for growth. They might explore new roles, pursue further education, or even start a business. This mindset shift allows them to redefine their sense of self beyond their job title, fostering a deeper sense of inner peace and confidence. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." This assertion underscores the idea that the courage to let go of attachments ultimately grants us freedom. When we release our emotional ties to our identities, we liberate ourselves from societal expectations and the pressures of external validation. We can begin to define ourselves based on our values and actions rather than on what others think or expect. Another vital aspect of letting go involves releasing our expectations. Often, we set ourselves up for disappointment by having rigid expectations of how situations should unfold. Whether it's anticipating a promotion, planning a vacation, or initiating a personal project, when reality doesn't align with our expectations, we experience frustration, sadness, or even anger. The Stoics remind us that while we can control our efforts, we cannot control the outcomes. Marcus Aurelius advised us to accept the things to which fate binds you and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. This teaching encourages us to let go of rigid expectations and approach life with a sense of openness and acceptance. By doing so, we become more adaptable and resilient in the face of unexpected outcomes. For instance, imagine you are preparing for a crucial presentation at work. You might envision a scenario where everything goes perfectly and your colleagues are thoroughly impressed. However, if you focus solely on this outcome, you risk becoming anxious and distracted, which can hinder your performance. By applying Stoic principles, you can let go of the need for external validation and concentrate instead on what is within your control, your preparation, your delivery, and your effort. This approach reduces anxiety and builds confidence, allowing you to perform at your best regardless of how others respond. Letting go also applies to our attachment to what others think of us. Many people feel trapped by the opinions of others, constantly seeking validation or approval. This need for external validation can cause anxiety and erode our confidence because we are always worried about how we are perceived. The Stoics taught that what others think of us is entirely outside of our control. Epictetus stated, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This advice, while seemingly extreme, emphasizes the importance of letting go of the need for approval. When we release the desire to be liked or admired by everyone, we free ourselves from the constant pressure of living up to others' expectations. This newfound freedom brings a sense of peace and confidence in our own path. For example, consider the experience of giving a presentation at work. If you are preoccupied with how your colleagues will react, you may find it challenging to focus on delivering your message effectively. Instead, approach the situation with a Stoic mindset by concentrating on your preparation and the value of your content. By letting go of the outcome and shifting your attention to what you can control, your effort and dedication, you reduce anxiety and foster a sense of empowerment. This practice not only enhances your performance but also cultivates a deeper sense of self-worth that is independent of external opinions. Learning to let go is crucial when dealing with failure or setbacks. Life does not always go according to plan, which can be difficult for many people to accept. Often, individuals view failure as a reflection of their worth, leading to feelings of shame and inadequacy. However, the Stoics teach us to view failure as a natural part of life. Epictetus encouraged his students to see every experience, good or bad, as an opportunity for learning and growth. Instead of resisting failure or allowing it to define you, Stoicism encourages acceptance as part of the process. For instance, if you launch a business that does not succeed, instead of feeling defeated, analyze what went wrong and what lessons you can learn. This acceptance builds resilience and confidence as you begin to see mistakes as stepping stones to success rather than insurmountable barriers. Additionally, consider how the fear of failure can paralyze us from taking risks. Many people hesitate to pursue their passions or try new things due to the potential for failure. By understanding that failure is a natural and unavoidable part of life, we can reframe our mindset and embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. As Seneca wisely noted, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. This perspective encourages us to face our fears head-on, knowing that every challenge contributes to our personal development. Acceptance and letting go also involve releasing our attachment to the past. Many individuals carry the weight of past mistakes, regrets, or losses which can hinder their ability to live fully in the present. The Stoics remind us that the past is beyond our control. We cannot change what has already happened. Marcus Aurelius advised, "The past is a mere fragment of time no longer with us. The present is a mere instant racing by. The future is uncharted, uncertain, and unknown." By accepting that the past cannot be altered, we free ourselves from its grip and focus on what we can do in the present to shape our future. For example, imagine someone who struggles with regret over a decision made years ago. They may find themselves replaying that moment repeatedly, wishing they had acted differently. This fixation on the past can prevent them from moving forward and embracing new opportunities. By practicing acceptance, they can acknowledge their past choices, learn from them, and let go of the emotional burden associated with regret. This shift allows them to focus on the present and make conscious choices that align with their current values and goals. Letting go is also about embracing new beginnings. Each ending opens the door to new possibilities, and the Stoics encourage us to view change as an opportunity for growth. As Seneca wisely stated, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. To fully embrace new opportunities, we must be willing to release what is no longer serving us. For instance, consider someone who has just moved to a new city. While leaving behind familiar surroundings can be challenging, it also creates the chance to explore new friendships, experiences, and opportunities. By letting go of attachments to the past, they can embrace the potential that lies ahead. Furthermore, the practice of letting go can significantly enhance our emotional well-being. When we release burdens from our past, we often find ourselves more open to joy and contentment in the present. This practice cultivates a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity, allowing us to appreciate the beauty in our lives without being weighed down by what has been lost. As we learn to let go, it is essential to be kind to ourselves throughout the process. The journey of releasing attachments is not always easy, and it often requires time and self-compassion. Recognizing that growth comes with its own set of challenges can help us navigate the path toward acceptance more gracefully. The Stoics remind us that it is perfectly normal to struggle with letting go. What matters is our commitment to the journey. In conclusion, the power of letting go is a vital Stoic practice that liberates us from the emotional burdens of attachment. Whether it involves releasing past mistakes, unmet expectations, or the need for approval, this practice helps us live with greater peace and clarity. The Stoics teach us that much of our suffering stems from clinging to things beyond our control, and by releasing these attachments, we open ourselves to new possibilities and experiences. Letting go is not about giving up. Rather, it is about finding the freedom to live fully in the present without being burdened by what we cannot change. As we cultivate this understanding and practice acceptance, we begin to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. By embracing the wisdom of the Stoics, we can find strength in acceptance and ultimately lead lives filled with purpose and fulfillment. Remember that the journey of letting go is ongoing and requires practice. As we learn to release our attachments, we create space for new experiences, deeper connections, and a more profound appreciation for the present moment. By embodying the Stoic philosophy of acceptance, we can transform our lives and foster a sense of inner peace that empowers us to face whatever comes our way. Lesson 5. The practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness, or the practice of being fully present in the moment, is a powerful tool for cultivating inner peace and emotional resilience. In Stoic philosophy, mindfulness is essential because it helps us stay connected to what's happening right now, rather than becoming distracted by worries about the future or regrets about the past. The Stoics assert that most of our suffering arises from not living in the present moment and from constantly thinking about things we cannot control, whether they have already happened or might happen in the future. As Marcus Aurelius expressed, confine yourself to the present. This succinct advice serves as a reminder that the only moment we truly have is the present one. When we allow our minds to drift into the past or future, we lose touch with what is happening right now, and this disconnection can lead to anxiety, stress, and dissatisfaction. Mindfulness helps us redirect our attention back to the present, allowing us to engage more fully with life and respond to challenges with greater clarity and composure. Practicing mindfulness doesn't have to be complicated. It's about learning to focus on the task at hand, whether it's having a conversation, taking a walk, or even something as simple as washing the dishes. By paying attention to your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings, you can become more attuned to the present moment. This practice helps you notice when your mind is wandering and gently brings it back to what you're doing. Over time, this ability to stay present strengthens your mental resilience and allows you to approach life with greater calm and focus. For example, consider a typical day at work where you're juggling multiple tasks. You might find yourself overwhelmed by a myriad of thoughts about deadlines, meetings, and personal responsibilities. Instead of focusing on the task in front of you, your mind races with anxiety about what you need to accomplish. This mental distraction not only affects your productivity but also heightens your stress levels. However, if you practice mindfulness, you can become aware of when your mind starts to drift. You can then take a deep breath, acknowledge your racing thoughts, and gently redirect your focus back to the task at hand. This shift does not only improve your concentration, but also alleviates the unnecessary mental burden of worrying about the future. Epictetus believed that mindfulness was crucial for managing our emotions. He taught that it's not external events that upset us, but rather how we interpret those events. By practicing mindfulness, we become more aware of our thoughts and emotional reactions. This awareness grants us the power to choose how we respond instead of reacting impulsively or letting our emotions take control. Mindfulness helps us pause, reflect, and respond in a way that aligns with our values and goals. This level of emotional self-regulation is a key component of Stoic wisdom, and it is a skill that can be developed through consistent mindfulness practice. Consider a situation where a driver cuts you off in traffic. Your initial reaction might be anger or frustration, and it's easy to react impulsively by honking your horn or shouting at the other driver. However, if you practice mindfulness, you can catch yourself before you react. You may notice the rising feeling of anger, acknowledge it, and choose not to act on it. Instead of letting that anger dictate your actions, you take a deep breath, let go of the irritation, and focus on continuing your drive peacefully. This ability to observe your emotions without being controlled by them is one of the greatest benefits of mindfulness. It helps you maintain your inner peace even in the face of external challenges. Mindfulness is also a powerful tool for reducing stress and anxiety. Many people experience anxiety because their minds are constantly focused on the future, worrying about what might happen, what could go wrong, or what they need to do next. The Stoics understood that worrying about the future is unproductive because it takes us out of the present moment, where we actually have the power to make changes. Seneca wisely noted, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This means that much of the stress and anxiety we feel stems from our minds creating worst-case scenarios rather than from what is actually happening. By practicing mindfulness, we bring our focus back to the present, which reduces anxiety and helps us deal with challenges more effectively. For example, if you find yourself anxious about an upcoming presentation at work, mindfulness can be incredibly beneficial. Instead of spiraling into thoughts like, What if I mess up? Or everyone will judge me if I make a mistake. You can acknowledge those thoughts without letting them control you. You might say to yourself, I notice I'm feeling anxious about the presentation. That's okay. I can focus on preparing and doing my best. This practice creates space between yourself and your anxious thoughts, allowing you to approach the situation with greater calm and confidence. Another important aspect of mindfulness is being aware of the transitory nature of our thoughts and emotions. The Stoics believed that nothing in life is permanent, not our circumstances, our feelings, or even our thoughts. Marcus Aurelius advised, everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. This quote reflects the Stoic understanding that our thoughts are not necessarily reflective of reality. They are temporary mental events that come and go. By practicing mindfulness, we learn to observe our thoughts without getting caught up in them. We realize that just because we think something doesn't make it true, and we gain the ability to let go of negative or unhelpful thoughts. Let's say you're feeling anxious about an upcoming presentation at work. Your mind might be filled with thoughts like, I'm going to mess this up, or everyone will judge me if I make a mistake. These thoughts can easily spiral into overwhelming anxiety if left unchecked. However, through mindfulness, you can observe these thoughts without getting caught up in them. You might acknowledge to yourself, I'm noticing that I'm feeling anxious about the presentation. That's okay. I don't have to believe every thought I have. This kind of mindful awareness creates space between you and your thoughts, which helps reduce anxiety and allows you to approach the situation with greater calm and confidence. Mindfulness also enhances our ability to experience gratitude and joy. When we are fully present, we are more likely to notice the beauty and goodness around us, the warmth of the sun on our skin, the taste of a delicious meal, or the laughter of a friend. These moments, though small, are where true happiness resides. The Stoics taught that happiness does not come from external success or material possessions, but from appreciating the present moment and cultivating an inner sense of peace. Epictetus said, he is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. By practicing mindfulness, we train ourselves to focus on what we have right now rather than what we lack or what we desire in the future. Incorporating mindfulness into our daily routines can significantly enhance our overall well-being. Mindfulness can be practiced in various ways throughout the day. For instance, consider the simple act of eating. Instead of rushing through meals while distracted by screens or thoughts about the next task on your agenda, try to eat mindfully. Sit down, take a moment to appreciate your food, and savor each bite. Pay attention to the flavors, textures, and aromas. This practice not only enhances your enjoyment of food, but also helps ground you in the present moment. Another practical example of mindfulness can be found in everyday activities such as walking. Instead of getting lost in thought while walking, focus on the sensation of your feet touching the ground, the rhythm of your breath, and the sights and sounds around you. This heightened awareness transforms a mundane activity into a rich and fulfilling experience. Additionally, mindfulness can be practiced during conversations. Often, we may find ourselves thinking about what we want to say next rather than truly listening to the other person. By being fully present in conversations, we can deepen our connections and engage more meaningfully with those around us. When we listen with intention, we not only show respect to the speaker, but also enhance our understanding and empathy. It's essential to acknowledge that living fully in the present and practicing mindfulness isn't always easy. Life is filled with distractions, and our minds naturally wander to the past and future. The Stoics recognized this challenge and encouraged regular practice and reflection to cultivate the habit of presence. To develop mindfulness, consider establishing a daily routine. This could involve setting aside time for meditation, practicing deep breathing exercises, or simply taking a few moments each day to reflect on your thoughts and feelings. For example, you might find a quiet space in your home, sit comfortably, and close your eyes. Focus on your breath, noticing the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. Allow any thoughts that arise to come and go without judgment. If your mind wanders, gently bring your focus back to your breath. Over time, this practice can help you cultivate a greater sense of calm and clarity in your daily life. Mindfulness is a skill that requires practice and patience. Just as physical fitness takes time to develop, so too does the ability to remain present and mindful. The key is to approach mindfulness with a sense of curiosity and openness, allowing yourself to explore your thoughts and feelings without resistance. In conclusion, practicing mindfulness is a key Stoic lesson that helps us live with greater peace, focus, and emotional resilience. By staying present in the moment, we free ourselves from the stress of worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. Mindfulness allows us to observe our thoughts and emotions without being controlled by them, strengthening our ability to respond to life's challenges with clarity and wisdom. The Stoics remind us that true happiness comes from living fully in the present, and mindfulness is the practice that helps us achieve this state of being. As we embrace the art of mindfulness, we cultivate a life rich with meaning, connection, and joy. By implementing mindfulness into our daily routines, we open ourselves up to the beauty of each moment, enhancing our overall well-being and enriching our lives. Let us take to heart the teachings of the Stoics and strive to live with intention, embracing the present moment as the precious gift that it is. Lesson 6. The strength of silence, harnessing quiet moments. Silence is often undervalued in today's fast-paced, constantly connected world. Yet in Stoic philosophy, it holds immense power. The Stoics believe that silence is not merely the absence of noise, but rather a vital space for reflection, growth, and self-control. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, wrote, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This advice highlights the importance of listening and observing rather than perpetually talking. By utilizing silence effectively, we can process our thoughts, make better decisions, and respond to life's challenges with calm and wisdom. In modern life, we find ourselves surrounded by noise. Whether it's the incessant hum of technology, the pressures of work, or even our own racing thoughts, many people feel uncomfortable with silence, rushing to fill every moment with distractions like music, social media, or continuous conversations. However, Stoicism teaches us that silence is a powerful tool for cultivating inner peace and emotional strength. It provides us with the space to reflect on our thoughts and actions, helping us become more intentional in how we engage with the world. Learning to harness the strength of silence means becoming comfortable with moments of quiet and stillness. In a society that often rewards quick responses and constant action, silence can feel like inaction or passivity. Yet the Stoics recognize that silence is an active practice. It is a conscious choice to pause, reflect, and listen before responding. Epictetus famously advised, "Nature gave us 1 tongue and 2 ears so that we could hear twice as much as we speak." This teaching encourages us to spend more time listening, not just to others but also to ourselves and the world around us, so that when we do speak, our words carry more meaning and purpose. Consider how often we rush to fill silence in conversations. This might stem from discomfort with quiet moments or an eagerness to make our point. Yet, in doing so, we often miss out on valuable insights. Allowing moments of silence gives us the opportunity to truly listen to what the other person is saying rather than merely preparing our next response. This deeper listening fosters stronger relationships, as it demonstrates genuine engagement and respect for the other person's perspective. For example, during a difficult conversation with a friend, pausing to reflect before responding can prevent misunderstandings and help you respond thoughtfully instead of impulsively. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, also emphasized the value of silence in personal reflection. He wrote, "It is quality rather than quantity that matters." This principle applies not only to our speech but also to our thoughts. By spending time in silence, we can sift through the noise in our minds and focus on the thoughts that truly matter. Silence grants us the mental space to reflect on our values, our goals, and the way we are living our lives. It is in these moments of quiet that we can gain clarity about what is important to us and make decisions aligned with our true selves. Let's explore a practical example. You are in a meeting at work, and someone says something that frustrates you or challenges your point of view. The instinctive reaction might be to respond immediately, defending your position or expressing your frustration.